Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
Good evening, everyone. Last night we told you about a drug called marijuana wax. The Minnesota Department of Public Safety has centered a new campaign around this.
After our story, many of you questioned, rightfully so, the reporting of the story and the assertions made by the Minnesota Department of Public Safety.
The MDPS says that marijuana wax is an emerging public safety issue, even though the substance has been around for decades. But many questions remain.
Tonight, we delve into the other side. Valley News Team's Macy Anger investigated further into the issue and asks the tough questions to get to the bottom of what's really behind Minnesota's marijuana wax campaign. Macy?
That's right, Mike and Steph. Many of you pointed out on social media that this is not a new drug, that THC can't actually cause you to overdose. And this is simply a campaign to scare people. We took your questions to the Minnesota State Gang and Drug Coordinator, Brian Marquart. He defended against the accusations that the campaign is a scare tactic, and he said he couldn't help what people thought. When we questioned the sources of information the Minnesota Department of Public Safety used for the campaign and why they said the two teens in Duluth, quote, overdosed, Marquart said he is not a medical professional. I know you say you're not a medical expert on any of this, but in your press release it does say that these two teens overdosed. Did you consult, any doctors about this before you put it in your press release?
The mother, if you've seen the video of the mother, she makes it very plain that there were physical and psychological reactions taking place in these teens that gave her very grave cause for concern, which is why they ended up at the emergency room.
Later on in the interview, the question was brought up again, and Marquart said he had not talked with medical experts about the high levels of THC in the drug. So we asked, with all the effort to push the information out to the community, why was this the case?
The medical community is very important to us, but in these circumstances, it really doesn't matter to me.
On the topic of marijuana wax being around for decades, Marquart says it's similar to hash, but is something newer to the state in the past couple months. The Minnesota Department of Public Safety claims no taxpayer dollars or any other funding went into this campaign. MDPS spokesperson Bruce Gordon didn't, however, address how many extra resources have been devoted to this campaign. Stephanie?
All right, Macy, thanks for looking into that. And in our original story, we didn't go far enough to challenge the agenda of the Minnesota Department of Public Safety. But when challenged, Brian Marquart wouldn't address our questions directly, instead simply circled around some of our questions. Now, we continue to strive to keep officials accountable here, and we regret not going far enough with our questions the first time around. For that, we apologize. Now, we do plan to stay on top of this campaign, and we'll let you know if anything else develops.
In other news tonight, a student-run cafe can no longer serve their menu items any longer. The Nest at the Davies High School teaches real-life kitchen and business skills. The restaurant had its grand opening last week. This week, students and teachers were told their food didn't meet federal guidelines for calories. One of the students called our whistleblower hotline wanting answers.
We want to get a feel of what it's like in an actual restaurant, and not every restaurant goes by nutrition guidelines.
So when our director told the principals and the teachers that they need to be following that, there was some miscommunication there as to what they could or couldn't do, and there were people thinking we were shutting the program down. No, we're not.
Fargo School Superintendent also says despite what others say, the Nest will continue to be open and serve food.
Nearly 400,000 people across the country and here in the Valley have been targeted by an IRS scam. Several have called their whistleblower hotline after getting a call or voicemail about legal action pending against them. The messages were very vague and did not mention the IRS at all.
There was no subject mentioned. That's what really kind of made my, brought my curiosity up about this thing.
We tried calling the number left for that man, but it was disconnected. Last week, when we tried to connect with a scammer, he told us that we were going to be sued and told us to call back later when the IRS was open. That was around 9 or 10 in the morning. To see more tips from the Better Business Bureau about this scam and others, head to our website, valleynewslive.com. And if you ever need help uncovering fraud or corruption in your community, call our whistleblower hotline, 701-237-6576, and leave your tip.
The scandal at a Wisconsin VA hospital continues, and now some lawmakers in that state are under fire for not doing enough to stand up to the VA.
A field hearing on prescription opiate abuse at the Toma VA Medical Center is set for Monday. Valley News Live's Washington Bureau Chief Jacqueline Policastro talks to Wisconsin's Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin about this scandal and the very serious accusations against her office.
Right now, Senator Tammy Baldwin is taking action. She's calling for answers from the Department of Veterans Affairs, the Department of Justice, and even the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration. We sat down in the senator's office to talk about why she didn't act sooner. Why didn't you speak up right away when you received the original report about Toma last summer?
I immediately wrote to the director of the Toma VA and received a reply that basically denied the allegations. We then wrote to the VA central office in June of last year and received a reply from the regional director, again, basically dismissing the issues that were brought to our attention and thereby their attention.
But why not take further action on that IG report then?
Unfortunately, I think a mistake was made by my office, and I accept responsibility, by not questioning the conclusions of the Inspector General, instead relying on the conclusions that they couldn't find any wrongdoing.
What about the whistleblower reports after that time period? Your office has been accused of mishandling some of those whistleblower reports. You demoted some of your own staff members because of this. Do you take personal responsibility for that?
I believe that a whistleblower case was mishandled, and we are redoubling our efforts now moving forward. In January, I called for the VA inspection that is going on right now, the investigation that's going on right now into overprescription of opioids and retaliatory conduct at the facility.
Do the deaths at the Toma VA facility weigh on you? The timing of one U.S. Marine who died from mixed drug toxicity came pretty close to when you received the original IG report. Do you ever worry, if we had taken this more seriously, maybe we could have saved some lives?
Extremely disturbing news, including deaths of two veterans who had been treated. One was being treated at Toma, the other had been. These are deeply disturbing, and our efforts to get to the root of problems at Toma are ongoing.
I asked Senator Baldwin if she would be willing to hand over the documents that circulated throughout her office regarding the Toma VA scandal. The senator said she did an internal review and has the answers she needs. As you heard, Baldwin admits mistakes in communication and judgment were made inside her office, but maintains that nothing unethical or any willful negligence took place. Reporting in Washington, I'm Jacqueline Policastro.
Now, Senator Baldwin did take part in a Senate committee hearing on the Veterans Affairs today, talking about VA opioid prescription policies, not just about the Toma VA, but all across the country.
U.S. senators are burning the midnight oil trying to reach agreement on a federal budget. Yesterday, the House approved their version that calls for balancing the federal budget in 10 years. Bogging down the Senate is a long list of amendments, a process known as vote-a-rama, and these lawmakers could well be working into Friday morning.
You know, we have hundreds of amendments, but at the end of the day, and this is going to go well into tonight, we need to have a budget. It needs to be a budget that balances, that helps reduce the deficit and the debt, and that it really prioritizes and enables us to address the important needs of the country. You know, we have to have fiscal discipline and fiscal responsibility and get our country back in a strong financial position, and that means having a budget.
That comment was provided by the senator's office. Once passed, a conference committee will try to find common ground between the Senate and the House versions. Also, don't forget, sign up for Valley News Live and weather text alerts right to your phone. You'll get the latest breaking news, weather, and other updates on your mobile device. Head to valleynewslive.com to sign up. And remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with No Wait Weather.
Yes, we could say we had a little improvement today over yesterday. We didn't have 50-mile-per-hour winds. They were only, well, in the 30s.
You didn't have to use as much hairspray.
Not as much, but I still, you know, used a fair share. Yeah.
There's a big story there. But
we'll let you just go.
All right, let's take a look at those wind speeds. 32 miles per hour, the peak gust in Fargo. Take a look at this tower cam, and boy, did we enjoy some windy weather today. And look at the sunset if you missed it out in the western sky. Gorgeous colors. And look at all of those colors, and the clouds really thinning out as we headed into the evening here in the Red River Valley. A current look at conditions outside. It's quiet, it's dark, 22 degrees on the thermometer. Winds are from the northwest. They're only blowing at 9 miles per hour right now, and your relative humidity says 63%. Dew points down in the teens means this air is very dry. And as we go through the overnight with clear skies and calming winds, our temperatures will likely fall in the teens, just like our neighbors to the west on 94. In Valley City, it's 19. Oaks, 23. 17 degrees for Babe the Blue Ox out in Bemidji. And Roseau, wow, 21 degrees there. Here's a look at what's going on region-wide. We did have some snow into the evening hours in the eastern third of North Dakota. That has since really quieted down. Way out to the west, though, we're seeing some rain showers in the big sky country of Montana. There's a warm front out there, and that's kicking off some clouds and showers. This warm front will be progressing its way eastward over the next couple of days, and that's providing us with a lot of thoughts of spring. While we look out to the west in places like Michigan, the UP, they're seeing some inclement weather up there. The system that went through our neck of the woods now bothering them. A lot of rain along the east coast, maybe even near Quinnipiac. All right, here's a look at your forecast. And right now, temperatures across the region, coolest in northern Minnesota, where it's 17 degrees. There's that mild stuff associated with the warm front where they saw temperatures in the 60s today. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast. And overnight, as we sleep, we'll see increasing clouds in our westernmost counties. And for all of us, the clear skies will be lasting the longest in parts of western Minnesota. That means maybe a chance at a single-digit start-your-day temperatures. That could be out in Roseau County. There are a couple of those possible in Lake of the Woods counties also. Otherwise, we'll see upper teens here in Fargo-Moorhead and temperatures in the 20s out to the west with midday clouds building in and even a chance of snow in the Devil's Lake Basin as we get going through our midday on Friday. Temperatures, even though the wind now will be from the south as opposed to that northerly direction that we've been battling for the last couple of days, now the snow as we head into the afternoon drive time. Devil's Lake along Highway 2 to Grand Forks, Jamestown to Valley City, a chance of some snow. Watch it if you're traveling there. This is the warm front's location. Look at temperatures out to the west. We're talking 50s for places like Bismarck and Minot. Now, as we head into the evening hours, we'll have a period of flurries or so here in the Fargo area. I don't think we'll see any accumulation. The model says 7/10 of an inch. I think we'll be lucky to see 1/10 of an inch along Highway 2, though. Chance for an isolated 1 to 2 inches of snow. Temperatures falling into the teens as we go through the overnight. Rising tomorrow thanks to south winds. It'll be around 10 to 15 miles per hour. We'll peak around 37 in Fargo. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 31 degrees in Devil's Lake, Bemidji 33. And take a look at this shot here. It's one of the tallest structures in the United States. That's the Valley News Live tower out there in Blanchard. Linda Johnson capturing that in the glorious sunset. Here's a look at your Saturday forecast. The warmest of the weekend by far, 54, but we do have rain that will be moving through late day. A few flakes of snow possible along the international border in Minnesota on Sunday. But how about it for Monday? Do I hear a, yeah, there's applause and all kinds of stuff. But we do have some flaky weather through the weekend. And
just in time for hockey, of course.
Puts us in the mood for some puck action out there at Shields Arena. Excited I am. All right.
Welcome to all the teams from Quinnipiac and
I think
all them other. Is that how you pronounce it?
No, it's not it.
Quinnipiac.
Okay.
Still ahead tonight, we're going to tell you why now might be the best time to buy a house.
But first, hypertension-related deaths continue to rise in the country.